Good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred and more likely than not that you're the person that committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. This morning we'll set your conditions of pretrial release, that is your bail or bond. In most cases, you've got a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit and the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date is. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me this morning. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Very good. When I call your name, please step forward to the podium. Christopher Asaf. Morning, Christopher. Date of birth?
7/31/86.
All right, Christopher, I got two more retail thefts. They're both felony retail thefts. There's probable cause for the charge. I think we appointed you the public defender on your other cases, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll continue the appointment of the public defender. I'm going to leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 on each. Are your other cases coming back October 10th? Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll send these to the 10th as well. Public defender will come see you before court, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Bobby Batson. Morning, Bobby.
Good morning, sir.
Date of birth?
3/12/79.
Okay. Bobby, it's battery, second or subsequent, being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire private counsel? Would you like the public defender?
I need a public defender.
I'll point to PD. State can be the last couple of years.
Judge, I can tell you we're missing a few of them on the NCIC. However, I do have prior batteries, domestic in nature. A couple of them were dropped to disorderly. Some were adjudicated upon, and a bunch of violation of probations, violations of domestic violence injunctions, some more probation violations, and that's kind of within the last 10 years.
Okay. And Bobby, I got you on Panorama Street in Brooksville. Is that where you're living?
No, sir.
Okay. What's the address now?
It's 4190 Monona, Monona Avenue.
Okay. And you living there with Janet?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You still shrimping, or are you doing something else?
No, I just got a good boat and got everything lined up.
Okay. All right. Well, Bobby, I'll set the bond at $1,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Janet. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't contact her through social media. Don't have a third person contact her. Don't go where she lives. Don't go where she works. Don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without bond until the charges are resolved. Means no contact even if she wants to contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision she's allowed to make. She might go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they're not dropped, and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you today up until 4 p.m., so if she wants to serve you with a civil injunction, we know where you are for that. And then Bobby will be back in court on October 10th. As soon as you get out, make sure you contact the public defender's office right away, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, as far as that address on Monona goes, you can go by one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need. But contact the sheriff's office before you go. They'll meet you there with a deputy who will stand by while you get your things, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck, Bobby. Wesley Coney. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
6/28/83.
They've got possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. Do you plan on hiring private counsel? Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I need a public defender.
Very good. I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, it looks like in 2015, out of Pasco, he had numerous drug charges to include possession of meth with intent to sell, multiple counts of that, and possession of controlled substance, and paraphernalia. It looks like he served some DOC time for those charges. Prior to that, he had violations of probation for DUI and violation of probations for forged bills, and those are in the early 2000s.
Okay. And, sir, you've been staying anywhere in particular or living outdoors? What's going on?
I don't exactly have a residence.
Okay.
I'm pretty much staying in my truck or...
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
nothing that's steady income.
Right.
I'm working for a cat rescue called Paul Warriors, but that's just for jobs that she needs here and there.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to set the bond on the meth at $5,000, on the paraphernalia at $1,000. That's a total of $6,000. We'll have you back October 10th. If you're able to get out, you should contact the PD right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail before you go to court again. Okay?
Very well.
Thank you. Brandon Gray. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
4/1/85.
Brandon, I've got 2 charges of grand theft and a fraudulent use of a credit card. There's probable cause for those charges. As for those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Judge, he has an out-of-state history, it looks like, from Georgia in the early 2000s for distribution or sale or possession of marijuana. As for Florida, I have in 2011 out of Lake County a grand theft with no disposition at this time and probation violations in 2008 for DUI and possession of controlled substances and a couple more probation violations in the early 2000s.
Okay. And Brandon, I have an address for you on Gloria Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, that's my current address.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
On and off, mowing lawns.
Okay. I will set your bond on the grand theft at $10,000, on the fraudulent use of credit card at $5,000 for a total of $15,000. You'll be back in court on the 10th of October. If you're able to bond out, you should contact the public defender's office right away. If you're unable to bond out, they will come see you at the jail before court. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Raymond Roman. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
January 18, 1972.
And so I have 2 charges this morning. You're going to ag assault with a firearm and a battery, both being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for both charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Private counsel.
Very good. Stay with me, tell me.
Judge, I have an out-of-state history, it looks like in Pennsylvania in 2007. They label it as terrorist attacks and criminal mischiefs that were ultimately, and harassment that were ultimately dropped out of Florida. In 2009, I have a resisting without violence that was null pros. In 2008, out of Tampa, domestic battery that was dropped. Another one in 2008 that was dropped. Another one that was in 2008 by strangulation that was dropped. In 2007, another domestic battery that he was found not guilty of.
Okay. And Raymond, I have an address for you on Windswept Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
That is correct. Yes, Your Honor.
How long have you lived there?
3 years, Your Honor, when my mother bought it.
Okay. And was Miss Martinez living there as well?
Miss Martinez has her own apartment, and she still has it. It's owned by John Giordano, Spring Hill Rentals, and she's owned that one for 4 or 5 years.
Okay. That wasn't the question. Was she living at Windswept?
If she has 2 addresses, yes, that was one of them. Yes.
There you go. See, it was a yes or no. That's all it was. Very good. And Raymond, you have a job these days?
No, I have mental issues. I have Social Security.
Okay.
I see a psychiatrist.
Okay. On the ag assault, I'm going to set the bond at $10,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Ms. Martinez. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Also, I have
There's no problem.
I'm going to hold you up until 4 p.m. on that charge so that she wants to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence. We know where to find you. On the domestic battery, I'm going to set the bond at $2,000, also with the condition that you have no contact with Ms. Martinez. The ag assault is coming back the 10th of October, the domestic battery the 12th of October. And then as far as Windswept goes, you know, she may not stay there. She may go somewhere else. But if you get out and she's still there, then you'll have to go someplace else. You would be able at that point to go back and get your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need, but you'd have to contact the sheriff's office before you did that. So you got 2 court dates, the 10th and 12th of October. When you speak to private counsel, make sure that you tell them about both those dates. All right, Raymond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you. Kyle Winston? Want to sir, what's your date of birth?
April 10th, 1996.
I've got leaving the scene of an accident, DUI with property damage, and DUI. There's probable cause for all 3, Kyle. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Can I go with the public defender,
You
please?
sure can. I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
Judge, these are the only charges I see at this
All
time.
right. And Kyle, I have an address for you in Buckeye, Arizona. Is that where you live?
No, sir.
Okay. You got a local address?
Yes.
What's that?
It's 17119 Equestrian Trail in Odessa, Florida.
How long have you been there?
4 or 5 months now, since my mother passed.
Okay. Do you have a job here in Florida?
I did until we went up north to do her memorial. So I don't currently. I intend to get one when I get out of here, though.
Okay. All right. We'll set your bond at $500 on each count. That's a total of $1,500. I'll have you back in court on October 12th. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Okay. May I ask you a question?
Sure.
How does that work with the bond exactly?
You can contact the bondsman from the jail. There's plenty of information there about phone numbers for bondsmen, and they can walk you through the process, all right?
So usually I borrow...
Usually 10%.
Okay, and then I'm responsible for the rest of it?
You're responsible for collateral for the rest of it, right? But the bondsman will walk you through all of that.
Okay, and then what exactly happens with my license, or is that to be determined yet?
Your license is suspended in 10 days because you blew over the legal limit.
Okay, so if I were to make bond and then get out of here to go collect the car and drop it in Tampa, I could potentially do that legally?
You could potentially do that legally, but understand I'm not giving you legal advice. All of the paperwork that you would have gotten last night will tell you exactly what's happening to your license based on that blow. And you should read that and understand that and govern yourself accordingly, okay?
And I can request a copy of that?
They should have lots of stuff for you before you get out today. They should have written you citations. I have copies of citations here that you apparently signed for. So.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
You bet.
All right, gentlemen.
Hey, son.